5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
Hey guys, I think it's 107. Sorry for the bad mood, but I've had to just be put through watching Chelsea play football, if they want to call it that, again, and it is honestly torturous. But hey, I've made it. Just really, it's the hope that will kill you. And just the belief that maybe now these players will finally just be happy with their fourth manager of the season now. And no, they still put out performances like that, but what can you do? I got some notes here, some things. Man, I'm so just fucking whatever. Anyway, let's try and get the mood up. Barbie movie. I spoke about this is the third time I've mentioned that now on a podcast. But only because I saw Quentin Tarantino. He was like, "Oh yeah, I watched the Barbie movie trailer. I saw these quotes," and he was like, "Yeah, I really liked the trailer, especially the intro." And I thought, "Oh, I think it's a good trailer. Looks like it's gonna be a good film. Greta Gerwig's got like a stacked cast and stuff." And like, oh yeah, the intro had like some good creative choices. It's like she steps out of her shoes and her feet stay in like the position like the doll would or whatever. And it's like, oh Christ. She steps out of the shoes. In the intro, she steps out of the shoes. In the intro, she's barefoot. Her naked feet. Quentin. And it's like, these are quotes, so maybe he said this in a joking way, like he's like, "Oh, everyone says I like things." I don't really, it's just a bit of a coincidence. But like, I don't know. It's text. I can't decipher the tone here, and I'm just like, Quentin, stop it. Stop with the feet thing. Also, like, I'm sorry you're not helped by the way you look. Like, if you looked like a slightly more normal man, then you could maybe make jokes about how people say you like feet and therefore make actresses put their feet on screen or something because you just kind of like it. And it would maybe come across less like, oh, he actually is joking. But when Quentin says it, it's like when some Airbnbs, they put up like jokes on the wall that say like, "We're watching you in the bathroom." There'll be like a joke like with a camera saying, "We're watching you." There's not actually a camera in there. I mean, sometimes people are like crazy, but like, even if there's not a camera in there, like, hey guy, that's not funny. Hey, maybe don't put that on the wall. Hey, I'm watching. Hey, maybe don't do that. Like Quentin Tarantino, he's the kind of guy who would put that on the wall with Airbnb. You know what I'm trying to say? Weird. He's just like a weird little like sort of goblin guy. Now, it make me think, right? If like a goblin was real, because I saw this TikTok and it was like talking about goblins or whatever. I know it's weird. It was like, well, imagine a goblin just walked in. Well, he was doing like POV. A goblin's just walked into McDonald's. This is how I react to something, and it's like, if a goblin is a mythical creature, right? It's not real. It's fictional. Yeah, if one walked in to a McDonald's while I was ordering something, like, because in his one he's like, "Oh my god, what, is that a fucking goblin?" Like, but like, I feel like, would you even think it's a goblin? Like, you would just think it's like a human, obviously deformed in some way, or like disabilities or something. I'm not seeing disabilities like that. He's got greenish pigmentation in his skin, and he's like 3'5" and like little pointy ears and stuff. He looks quite like a goblin from fiction. But that being said, like, all logic would point to goblins not being real, but you would just be like, "Oh, it's not. I'm not going to be like goblin. Obviously, I'm going to be like, oh, I've never seen a human like that." And it just made me think, like, it's so crazy. Like, you could see the most wild, insane, made up shit, and your brain would just try and rationalize and be like, "Oh, that's not real." Like, you could literally see like a half man, half horse, and you would just be like, "Yeah, he just had got dealt a bad hand. Just born like that." You wouldn't think, "Oh, this is like the books." Like unicorn, you could see one, you'd be like, "Yeah, fair, just a bit of deformity or something." I don't know, I just let me think about that. I'm sorry, Quentin, I'm not saying you look like a goblin. I'm just saying you look creepy and you should stop the feet thing. I don't like it as a joke. I don't like it for real. Because it's like, By the way, if like in your private life, if that's what you like, I'm not like saying stop that in the bedroom, Quentin. Not allowed. No, 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 no. But when you're like a filmmaker and you're just getting the actors to do it, and it's just like it's just kind of weird. And like he could argue, yeah, I love Fate, but it's not in a sexual way. I just like him as an art form, and they can tell a story. And it's like even still, Quentin, it's just a bit. I just don't. When in your field of what you're doing, your job and that, and it's just like, I just don't know, I just find it odd, man. Like, if I was filming something and then Quentin was like, get the puppies out, we need it to tell this story. I just kind of be like, do we need it though? Like, you're telling me we need it. So like, it's like Dan Schneider level. Well, it's not like Dan Schneider, those are children's feet, but still creepy. I literally just have the weirdest notes right now. This one just says undercover nonce cop, which I don't feel like talking about today. It's not like a joke. That's literally, the note is actually pretty accurate to what the topic is. I just don't feel like bringing it up. Yesterday I was talking about how like real life is like The Boys so much. I guess you're meant to say The Boys is like real life, but like I never saw it that way until recently. I just started to notice things that have been going on, and it's like, this is exactly what's happening in The Boys. This is mad. And I've not came to that conclusion. I saw people tweet that after this happened. But Jeremy Renner, there was like reports that he basically got eaten alive by like his tractor or something. It was like a really bad sort of ploughing accident. He got like run over or some shit. And like he was in critical condition. And by the way, how critical was it? Because I assumed when there was like critical condition, he would have been mashed up bad. But like this interviews came out pretty quickly after the fact, and he looks pretty much how he always has, you know. That's just Jeremy Renner's face. So that's a bit rude that someone was like, oh Jeremy, you look awful, and he was like, no, this is just my face. But no, what people were really talking about was the way this is shot, like Jeremy Renner, like on Disney Plus, like talking about his injury and stuff, and like them interviewing him. It's just so similar to like Vought, like the company in The Boys, and I can't really explain it. If you haven't seen it, you kind of should just see it. It's not what I'm talking about. It's just too much to explain. But it's just like this big company, they get him out there with like all these lens flares and the camera and like the way it's cutting with the music in the back, like Jeremy Renner talks us through his neurodivergence, and just I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like it just feels so like, is this fiction? Are they acting right now? I was like, just madness, man, just madness. My eyes aren't even open at this point, by the way. I'm low key, high key, definitely still thinking about that Chelsea game, and I'm just like, it's been a while since like games have like ruined my life. And that's not true, but like the average like what's they called? Match day, like the average weekly game hasn't like affected my whole weekend and like week, and just put me in an awful mood in a while. Mainly because I don't know, just getting a bit old. I've been getting a bit better at that. But I think also because we've not been in a situation where I feel like it even matters. Like when you're like consistently in top four, it can like change your week up, because it's like, for example, if we was in Man United's position, then I would probably still be in situations regularly where it feels like it ruins my weekend. Because say, you know, I'd lost to Everton today, that would have been one of those games that really fucking like pissed me off. But if we lost to Everton this week, I would kind of just be like, yeah, it's just same old, nothing to play for anyway, and who the fuck cares at this point? Because it just feels like it's been a really long time since, you know, there's been good days, and it's like it hasn't been that long. Like Arsenal went through this for like a long period of time, and they still won FA Cups during this period, but when they were just this long period of just fucking banter club, right? And it's like, when you actually deep it, we've not been here this long. Like, it's literally just this season. Like we very recently won all of those European, like the Champions League and Super Cup, Club World Cup, right? That was like last season, kind of. Not the Champions League, but like the Club World Cup, maybe. I know. I'm talking about football again. I know no one cares, but I don't know. It's just fuck it. Like, time is dragging, and it's because, and the reason why now all of a sudden I care about these games that mean nothing is because it's Lampard, and I just thought morale, change it. They was actually gonna try. No, they still don't give a fuck. They're still not trying at all. And I just want some good memories to go out to the end of the season. I'm not sure our next game is. I'll probably check after this, but I'm kind of hungry as well. There's no food. Should I go to the shop? Is there any point? I got my flight tomorrow. It's like an evening one. No one cares again, but I'll tell you, it's like 10, which I didn't care at the time, but I kind of wish now it was earlier, like just to get out of the way. Because instead, it's like you're just waiting around. So your whole day, you're basically just waiting for this thing. But yeah, man. I mean, what else we got in here? We got some other stuff. Something I actually really want to see documentary wise. Well, anything wise. I don't really watch documentaries, but that Michael J. Fox documentary still looks pretty good, man. And I quite like Michael J. Fox. Like that, he's like an era of actor, which just is they don't make him like that anymore. Like kind of like actors back in the day, they'd kind of like speak like I was on old like black and white. They'd all speak in like this weird voice, something like an old bit of crackly Mary. And I want if I could, I'd if you asked for the moon, I'd put a lasso around it and I'd give it you the moon. And they'll speak like that. And then you kind of had this era where like. Michael J. Fox era, where like your protagonists were acting like how he kind of acted with this whole like, come on, man, we got whoa, man, you see how that's crazy. You're kind of really animated like that, and now we got like another sort of now it's really acting's really subdued and like that's kind of becoming popular like really what's the word like subtle acting like sort of the less move like the tiniest little. Like what's the word? What is the fucking word, man? The tiniest little twitch. That's the word. Tiniest little twitch in your face, like a little, little. Oh my god, he just showed some emotion there. Wow, he's going so much about screaming the hell. That's really big now, and I know the Michael J. Fox documentary just looks pretty good. I quite liked the trailer. I quite like Michael J. Fox, so I'll probably watch that. Apple TV, so it's like I don't have Apple TV for frick's sake. I mean, I don't. It's like I've made a list of like all the movies that have been like announced recently, like coming out. And it's a long list, and a couple of TV shows I want to watch. I don't really watch that many TV shows and stuff, right? So on the TV shows, it's like Dave's a show I like. I'm watching Dave. To be fair, Dave is on Disney Plus, but so it's on Disney Plus, but you're also like Hulu, things like that. I like watching Euphoria. That's like Sky. Stranger Things, I guess that's like Netflix. Then you got that documentary, that's Apple Plus. I guess Ted Lasso, if you watch that, that's also Apple Plus. What else? There's like a show I wanted to watch. I can't remember what it's called. That was like Paramount Plus. I didn't even know it was a fucking service that even existed. Just like, man. And I wanted to just always think that like Netflix is the only one you really need though. Like the shows on like Apple TV, like the catalogue isn't great. And here's the thing, like the catalogue on here's the thing though, shows on Netflix, they got obviously some good ones, but really they just got a huge catalogue and they're the big boys. And it's like the catalogue on Apple TV, I just think, Amazon Prime, that's another service you'd need to get to watch stuff. It's like not as big as Netflix, and Netflix has this catalogue that just like blows everyone else out of the water. And when I say just like catalogue, they might have like the same numbers, but I feel like Netflix has a huge catalogue and they got like a huge catalogue of C's, right? But Apple TV and all these other little services, to be fair to them, they got a smaller catalogue, but they probably have like a higher percentage rate of like A's. You know what I mean? Netflix got a bunch of C's and B's, and there's more C's and B's than everyone else. But then they got higher highs. You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, I don't know. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go make some food. Maybe go to shop. Maybe I'll just drown my sorrows because Chelsea can't win a game for a lot of no money. We couldn't fucking buy a win. We can spend ridiculous amounts of money on players and buying managers and then paying out managers so we can sack managers and then this and that. And trying to buy this new stadium in this new place. It's going to cost billions and millions of pounds. But we can't buy 3 points. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, man. This is 107, I want to say. See you in 108.
Here with the kids. And they have like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like, Euros.